Yeah,
All right, Connor, how are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
All right, yeah. Well, this is just like a little short 15-minute introductory piece. So it won't be that exciting the questions, but I guess
That's
it's not.
cool.
I mean, you're based in Birmingham, aren't you? Or
Yeah, yeah, we are. Yeah,
so whereabouts
we
in whereabouts in Birmingham?
well, we're actually all moving into a house together tomorrow, in Selly Oak. But we're sort of originally from Stourbridge, and then the drummers from Great Bar. So for the next like 20 hours, that's where we live.
It's amazing. Stourbridge is still producing bands. I mean, all the way back
Yeah,
30
there's some
years
great
ago.
bands. Yeah, there's some great bands coming out of Stourbridge still. Not as many, and the scene isn't as great as maybe we want it to be. But yeah, there's still a few bands going out of Stourbridge.
I mean, it's only a little place. Well, how come it's got the generations of bands coming out of it?
I think maybe it's that it's a deep rooted place for music, and that you know the Black Country as a whole has always loved bands. JB's used to be around in Dudley back in the day, and all the bands used to go there. My mom tells me endless stories of seeing everybody there before they got big. But I don't know. Well, we our inspiration came from when we were at school. It was a music sort of specialized school, so we had a lot of equipment and things around us that we could just use and play around with. So I think that's where our inspiration come from. But I would say there's some deeply rooted sort of levels of people just love music here, whether it's bands or the newer wave of stuff, grime and that sort of stuff.
So for you growing up, what was it from your mum and dad you're getting your music from, or was there a moment when you heard a band and it
Yeah.
was just a life changing band?
Um, there's loads of different sort of influences that I've personally had. I mean, the early influences, like my dad used to listen to a lot of ska, so I used to be listening to like a lot of Madness and Bad Manners, that sort of vibe. Who actually saw earlier this year. It's mad to see that Bad Manners are still going. Um, but my mum was like massive Duran Duran fan, loved like Mark Almond, people like that. So sort of grew up listening to those sort of people. Um, Bands that I've seen, I saw Duran Duran live. That was really cool. And my first concert actually was the Black Eyed Peas, which is a really weird one, but it was such a cool show, and they really know how to put on something. That was like back in 2010 when they were really like at their peak. Who else have I seen? I've seen loads of people live. A game-changing one for me was really stupid, but well, not stupid, but it was at the Sunflower Lounge in Birmingham when I went to see the Blinders for the first time. That was a real game changer for me because I'd never seen the Sunflower Lounge sold out. I think I was 17, but it was just like I was like, wow, this place is rammed and it's really warm and it's a vibe. And yeah, I
They
think
are
that's
such
when
a great band, aren't they?
yeah, they're amazing, and they're amazing in such a small cap venue.
Mm. I mean, would that be the band? We always call it the alpha band. The moments when you think, this it's your own music. It's not your mum and dad's music. It's the music that you own, and it makes you want to make your own music as well.
Yeah, I think for me, definitely like it's weird because the music that I would call my own is the music that I'm growing up around. So like obviously we're making music ourselves, but I'm in love with the bands that we've got around us at the moment: the Blinders, Fontaines, Murder Capital. You know, even smaller bands like the Ninth Wave and Walk Disco, who are really pushing through at the moment. The new post punk sort of wave is just unreal, and every single tune that comes out of the genre that I would class ourselves in as well, they're just getting better, and I think it's growing as well, especially with Fontaine's rise over the last sort of 2 years. It's unheard of for a while, and it's exciting that guitar music's getting that attention again.
It's amazing, isn't it? Because it was totally written off 2 years ago. Just a thing that you could go and see in small bars, and I don't think anybody expected this huge takeover of these bands. I mean, what is it about these bands that's really connected with
Uh,
people like your age?
I saw Fontaine's in. I went to uni in London, in Swiss Cottage, and I saw them in the Macbeth, which I think is closed down now in Hoxton, is it? But I saw them there for a Great Escape thing that we're doing for the first 50, and it was just unreal. Like there was like I think there was like 110 people in there. And then to see them go from that to Brixton in like just over a year was ridiculous. And then they've just announced Alexandra Palace, which is like how you go from 100 people to 10,000 is insane. I think that inspires people in the first instance to sort of get behind it. I also think a lot of people like me who maybe haven't always fit in at school or haven't been the in crowd maybe connect with this music, because a lot of the music is about that. And I think actually like idols have a massive community of people that feel like they don't fit in, and they support each other with their AF gang community, which you know, I think the music also stems from having a wide community around it, and people enjoy the music because they enjoy the community as well, and it works both ways.
Does your band fit in with that community? Do you speak to people in that community and communicate what you're trying to do?
Yeah. We talk to quite a lot. We talked. I would say we've always had a strong feeling to make sure that we know people that go to our gigs, whether it's, you know, 10 people or the whole audience. We want to know some people in that crowd so that we can talk to them and have that conversation. And we don't want to be that band that hides in the dressing room and then comes out, plays a gig and then goes again, and you don't connect with your fans. Because, you know, these people are supporting you and buying your merch and promoting you and are interested in your music. You need to take the time to speak to them. And I think that's really where idols have just blown up. And pardon the, you know, the pun of it, but idolizing idols for doing that. Do you know what I mean? Like that they are sticking to their roots, and it isn't, you can tell it's not a character, because they wouldn't have been able to keep that up for so long. And yeah, it's a great thing that I think music is starting to become a bit more personal again, rather than let's go and support this artist and make them huge, listen to them for a couple of albums and then go on to the next thing.
I mean, what, so you partially part of that scene. I mean, there's no, in a weird way, there's not really any such thing as a scene, but it's sort of bands loosely related. But what makes what you're doing different from those bands? What's your specialist thing?
I would say we've been saying in a lot of interviews that we've been doing at the moment that we look at the whole thing like it's as a piece of art. Like, so obviously a lot of bands look at their music as this is a piece of art, this is us. We start to look at the wider thing, like the shows. Like we did a DIY show in the warehouse last September, and we go to the point of that we put the lights up and we design where the lights go and design where the stage is and look at the set, and we do it all ourselves. Like we built it ourselves. Obviously, I know if we ever got massive, that isn't something that we'd probably be able to do, but being involved with the design aspect of that and like every element of a show, the vinyls, like all the graphics that we release, Tyler does, the bassist. So everything, while it's quite cost effective to do it internally, we do it internally because we care so much about how it looks and how it is and how it feels for the whole project. I think that sets us quite far apart. A lot of people who I know who have been to stadium shows have said that they still think that our warehouse gig was probably the best one they've been to, which is crazy. But that's what we want to put on, and that's what we want to promote ourselves as.
So what kind of things do you sing about? I mean, does that matter? It doesn't always have to matter, or do you have other lyrics very important in your songs?
Yeah, we have like, so Man on the Bridge, which is our next single, is a bit more fun, about literally a man dancing on a bridge in Camden. It does have like deeper meaning of you don't always see what's going past you. You know what I mean? You won't always see what's going on with their lives. You know, that man looks like he's having a great time dancing on a bridge for 8 hours a day, but actually there could be some deeper meaning to that. It's singing past that. But then other songs like we've the Castaway, which is the A side on that vinyl, and we're also releasing a demo for it. Is a song about my experience with kind of moving away and not understanding how to cope with my own emotions, but knowing full well how to deal with everybody else's. We're sort of taught at school and college to like be kind to each other and look after each other, but you're not taught how to look after yourself, which I find quite interesting. So that's probably that. But a lot of our songs are political or around social issues like anxiety and depression and all of that sort of stuff, but making it in a way that people can enjoy the music while understanding the message, rather than it being like, okay, this song's about depression, it's going to make you all sad, because
Mhm.
realistically that's not us.
So it's looking for solutions to problems.
Yeah, effectively. And
Musically,
challenging people on why. Yeah, challenging people on why those things happen. Like when the Black Lives Matter campaign was really, really active about a month ago, we released a single called Blinded by Fear, which is sort of about people being almost like uh, pawns of the world that just get moved around by the top, that just do what they like. And I guess we will always have topical ideas no matter what goes on, and we will always disagree or agree with certain things, but we like to challenge things with our music and make it so it's fun, but it's also attacking issues that we want to talk about.
so are you kind of optimistic about the future of music and guitar music specifically in a post-virus world if we ever get there?
Yeah, I am actually, and for the first time probably in a while, like for the first sort of year or so that we were a band, it was like, okay, this is really difficult. Like there are 50 people in a room all the time, and there isn't many stadium shows or even like O2 Academy level shows that guitar bands are happening in. But again, I keep using the example, but if you look at like the likes of the Murder Capital, they've gone from playing like 100 cap venues to 1,500 in a year again, because people are getting behind those bands again, and I think that's really important. And I want to see as much as Oasis and the Stone Roses were a key part of UK music, that was almost coming up to 30 years ago now, 30 years ago, and it's time to move on from that. And I think it's actually happening now, which is really good. And I think the likes of those fans are now moving on to people like Fontaines and Murder Capital, and they want new music, and it's exciting and it's interesting, and that's what we need.
So in where you're based in Birmingham, has there been a sea change in music there? Is there a host of young bands coming through behind you and a lot of people going to the gigs?
Yeah, we've noticed like a surge of punk bands, and bands that do. There's a band that we get on really well with called Pretty Vile, which is a two-piece band, and they've got a song called Boris is a Poo Head, which is actually really funny. It's a really good song. But there's a lot of good bands coming out of Birmingham, and what I've noticed is Birmingham seems to come in waves. Like you'll have a load of new bands for 12 months, and then you'll hear nothing for like another 12 months, and then there'll be a load of new ones. We got on quite well with Tim Senna, who's one of the BBC West Midlands presenters, and he was saying that a load of new bands have come through again, which is really exciting, because one of our other main things is we always want to support new music in Birmingham, so we always put a band on that's played like maybe one or two gigs at our gigs.
So yeah, you're very proactive in encouraging a scene.
Yeah, we want that to happen. Manchester thrive off the fact that they've got a scene, and I think Birmingham do have like we got on with quite a few bands, but you want to always expand it. It shouldn't be a cult or a clique. It should be something that everybody can join and be a part of. And I think that's starting again to happen. There's a few media companies that are starting to really talk to each other, and it's really good.
So what's your plans for the rest of this year then?
Well, we're moving in together tomorrow, which is a big step for us. It'll make rehearsing a lot easier, and writing and stuff, and every general day-to-day life. We are planning and in talks with the council at the moment about doing a socially distanced gig in September in the same warehouse that we did before. I went to measure it up the other day, so we're sort of just looking at that now. Apart from that, sort of just trying to push on with writing music and getting music released that we are really proud of. The next sort of body of work that we've done is something that we've never experienced before, and we're really, really proud of it. And we've never all been so behind a body of work like the next few songs. So it's really exciting, but then hopefully working to sort of get a booking agent, and we've got a lot of interest going around. So that's really good for us. But apart from that, sort of keep working hard until we're happy with where we're at, and then we'll carry on working hard from there. Never stops.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Yeah, brilliant. Well, yeah. Well, thanks for that. That's all the stuff I need for this piece, and hopefully I'll get to see you play on the other side of this.
Yeah, great. But whereabouts are you from? Are you from London?
It's in Manchester. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
played the Soup Kitchen
Oh, I
and
know it. Yeah.
Night and Day Cafe. We didn't realise how close together they were. We did it within like 2 weeks.
Same building, virtually.
Yeah, it was really funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll definitely be playing in Manchester again soon. So I'm sure we'll see you.
Excellent. All right. Thanks a lot, then.
Cool. Thank you.
All right.
Cheers.
See you.